Welcome back to HPL, or the PvP Live Studios in Frisco, Texas, and we just saw Muzzy take a 2-1 lead here over Kranich. When he gets going, look out.
Yeah, he actually used a Malagos and a Soulfire to end this game. What's the most amount of damage or the sickest thing that you've done with Malagos? I want to know about it. You can get out there on Twitter and use that hashtag HPL. You can tag PvP Live in the tweet, or myself, or Tan and Grace, at That's Admirable, or at the Tan and Grace, and let us know the most disgusting thing that you've done with a Malagos. I want to know about it. You can also get on Facebook and like and comment on the page there as well. You know, I have to say, I think Muzzy is going to continue to play Druid and play Warlock. Those are the classes he's been winning with. That's how he's been getting the work done.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the sickest thing you've ever done, by the way?
I actually have not played with Malagos that much.
I've done it with arcane missiles before in a mage deck.
Knives or something like that. I'm going to talk more about that in a second, but we're getting into game number 4 right now with Muzzy versus Kranich. You know, way back in the day, this is like during the, I think it might actually still been in alpha stages, Malagos, or spell damage in general, used to buff each missile instead of busting a total number of missiles. So if you had like a Malagos, you Avenging Wrath, it was just 6 missiles that dealt 6 points of damage each.
That sounds fair.
It's totally fair. That's why they changed it. So Muzzy, that was a druid that I saw, man. Love to see him abuse his strengths. And once again, has Wild Growth in his opening hand and Harrison Jones to fight off against this rogue.
Yeah, just great opening hand for Muzzy here. Just absolutely love it. Speaking of hands that I love and hands that I don't love, not the biggest fan of Kranich just going forward there.
Yeah, he does have ways to kind of
you know, deal with things.
He's got ways to fight against minion pressure. I mean, something I think he would have loved to see is like actually innervate on a pilot shredder.
Yeah, it would have made his hand a little better.
Yeah, the Blood Mage being able to backstab the first part and then
sprint,
deadly poison. Yeah, that's a big draw for him right now, and it looks like he's going to continue to play this patiently. You know, in this spot, yeah, I was just about to say.
I would love to see this. Yeah, he needs to do this turn.
There's a couple things that this threatens too. Number one, if your opponent plays Shade Next Robinson to this board, they have to be fearful of Phantom Knives. So they do want to take care of the Blood Mage in that first effect. Kranich going to swing with his weapon too here. I mean, that's got to hedge his bets against Harrison Jones. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, I mean, he saw Harrison Jones out of Muzzy's Druid deck earlier in the match. Yeah. So that is one thing that you're seeing from Kranich here playing around. Love this play from him, really heads up.
Yeah, but then Prep Sprint on turn 4 going to reload this hand. And Muzzy, though, not a shortage of action to add behind this. He's going to have a plethora of things to do.
Yeah, and Kranich picks up a Sap here, one of the more important cards in the matchup.
Yeah, can really buy a lot of big tempo swings here. But I mean, this has got to be a Harrison Jones turn straight away. You're taking away 3 points of damage. You're picking up an extra card. You're adding a 5/4 to the board. I mean, what more can you want?
Yeah, it's really hard to pass up taking care of this dagger here. You absolutely have to do it. It just puts Kranich on, you know, a back foot, takes away some tempo from him going forward. Now, you know, Kranich, you know, you want to develop this Azure Drake, but can you in this spot?
I think you just have to at this point. You know, the fact that you're running short on cards, you don't have an effective way to really handle this board pressure. I think Azure Drake's totally fine here. You know, if Azure Drake just has the Harrison Jones run into it, you know, you have given up a little bit of value, but you have to do what you have to do. You can't just do nothing.
Yeah, well, Muzzy's going to have a couple answers if he wants to. He can Wrath or swipe it away next turn, depending on how he wants to use his mana. He has the coin left over, so what he could do is like swipe coin, Shade of Next Rhombus, and just have a great turn. And man, these swipes have been good for Muzzy so far here.
Doesn't want to overcommit to something like Blade Flurry, though. You know, at the same time, he just saw Kranich prep and sprint. A Deadly Poison is out of the way, but you always have to be fearful of something like Tinker Sharp Sword Oil in combination with a Blade Flurry. I think Kranich just has to do this. Doesn't really have an option.
That's why I like the Wrath play a lot more here.
If that Tinker Sharp Sword Oil in the SI7 agent are reversed, I think Muzzy might find himself in kind of a different situation. But now he's picked up a second Force Nature as well. You know, does he feel more comfortable using Force Nature here than he does Swipe?
I think I prefer actually using Wrath and then Hero Power here to taking care of Azure Drake and then pushing for damage. I think I would push for as much damage as possible here and try to finish this game off of these Force of Natures. But again, Swipe actually uses your mana a tiny bit better. You get to swipe and then Hero Power his face, but it looks like he is just gonna actually trade this Force of Nature.
Yeah, I think it's okay to trade the Force of Nature too. I mean, your life does matter in this matchup. I think the one way that he sees he's gonna lose this game is if Kranich gets some massive burst turns in. So every single point I think does matter. You know,
yeah, that's a really good point.
Use your life total when the game is kind of, you know, coming to a point where it's closing out. If you feel like it gets into a grind battle, go ahead and start using your life total. But until then, get a little bit more information about exactly what Kranich wants to do before you start committing to that. And it also sort of alleviates the mana in his hand. Swipe is a little bit more flexible, I'd say, than Force of Nature is. So if he found himself in a situation where, say, Kranich had a Violet Teacher, things could easily get out of control, and Swipe can help clean that up as well.
Great turn here for Kranich as well, getting to clear this entire board and develop a minion of his own. However, this Wrath is going to take care of it.
Yeah, Wrath and then either Sludge Belcher or Shady Next Ramus. I think this Wild Growth is going to sit in hand until Muzzy's got 10 mana, so he can cycle it for a card. And starting to run short of pressure here. And Big Game Hunter doesn't typically have any targets in this deck. And Shady Next Ramus, you know, getting to that point where it can be easily dealt with, just caught in a Blade Flurry.
Yeah, now he still has the coin in his hand, so if something like Kranich didn't heal this turn, Force of Nature, if he would have top deck Savage Roar, is actually still lethal from that point.
So Anti-Heal Bot going to protect him from that. And, you know, this looks like a backstab turn to me. He's just going to sap instead, though. Wants to keep his 3-point dagger around, and so that way he can couple it with a Blade Flurry, maybe with that Tinker Sharp Sword Oil. And once again, Muzzy, you know, you cannot leave minions on the board when you're playing against this deck. I almost expect him to swipe this turn. I'm going to go with Sludge Belcher first, and Shady Next Ramus second. This is the turn that he was not hoping would happen. And Kranich, this is his window of opportunity to really start getting things done.
He's really going to turn up the heat here.
Yep, I mean, this looks to me like it's a lead with backstab, Tinker Sharp Sword Oil, Blade Flurry afterwards. You know, but if he does that, he does actually lose a lot of the pressure from, you know, that slime. The slime's going to hold off a lot of damage here. So he's just going to Blade Flurry instead and just leave the 3/3 on the board. He's going to look to utilize his Tinker Sharp Sword Oils at a later time.
Yeah, he's going to develop another minion here this turn as well. He's going to get to Earthen Ring Farseer. Yeah, I like this play a lot more for Granger and Dagger up. Yeah.
Yep, love healing up the minion too. You know, this protects it from something like swipe and hero power.
Yeah, because you don't want you get your Earthen Ring Farseer swiped and then the other guy just picked off from a hero power here.
What
you need a minion. He needs a minion to stick around, and he might be able to actually kill Muzzy next turn.
Yeah, I mean, what a draw from Muzzy too. This Ancient Allure, going to find some more options from this. You know, is he considering just taking this board out though? You know, he could use Force of Nature and his hero power as well to keep this under control. Kranich only has 3 cards left.
Yeah, I mean, you have to wonder what those 3 cards are. He's been fighting for the board very heavily. I don't mind this play at all from Muzzy.
Yeah, Muzzy recognizing like what the damage potential from a deck like this is, and wants to keep it under control as much as he possibly can here. And Kranich, he's out of minions at this point, so he needs a draw if he's going to keep this pressure going.
Yeah, and Muzzy going to keep this Innervate in his hand because when he plays Ancient of Lore next turn, he can still play a few other cards. He actually has the coin. Great draw here for Kranich.
He picks up a sprint behind it as well, but Muzzy's shaking his head. He knows he's going to be able to swipe next turn. That's a big difference for him so far in this game. Kranich is going to continue to cycle to try to pick up cards. Replaces his Fan of Knives, but that's one less he has to draw. Ancient of Lore gets picked up. And this is going to be Ancient Allure and swipe on this Azure Drake now. This is looking wonderful for Muzzy. As soon as he gets control of this board pressure, things are going to get out of control. But Kranich is going to have one more turn to reload with this sprint.
Yeah, he needs to reload big time, too, because Muzzy is about to put this game out of reach from him over the next turn, though.
Yeah, Kranich does have to feel a little bit safe. He's seen both Force Natures, so he knows that pressure is not coupled with it. Sprint got to be the play here. And do you want to sap this Ancient Allure? If he saps this Ancient Allure, he may find himself in a bad situation shortly after this.
I mean, he did pick up an Eviscerate. If he really wants to take care of Ancient of Lore, Eviscerate using your dagger is actually better. You need to keep sap around for things like Ancient of Lore because you've actually seen Muzzy play those cards before here.
Yeah, Muzzy does in fact have Ancient of Lore. He can actually add Druid of the Claw behind this too. Does he want to just Emperor Thors on here instead though?
Let's see, like, how much does it alleviate the mana on his turn? But if he does Ancient of War as a 5/10 and the Druid of Claw charge as a 4/4, where does that put him? It puts Kranich down to 17, and you get a lot of aggressiveness in play, but it doesn't play around Sap, Tinker, Sharp Sword Oil, which you haven't seen yet, so you're going to see him actually make a 4/6 here, just favoring the extra toughness here.
Yeah, but this is a big turn for Kranich now. 2 Violet Teachers and a sap on that Ancient Award is going to buy him quite a bit of time. Muzzy does not have a swipe
He needs
either.
another swipe, yeah.
This could get really dangerous for Muzzy.
Is moving back and forth.
You constantly see this between Rogue and Druid too. It's a back and forth battle.
Jockeying for position, yeah.
Even just with these 2 players, both of these guys have been going back and forth.
Oh, he draws the swipe.
Picks up a swipe. Muzzy,
what a play
draw.
Here. He can clear Kranich's entire board here this turn.
That is a
unbelievable
second big pickup of a swipe for Muzzy so far in this match.
Back-breaking swipe after back-breaking swipe here against Kranich in this match.
Gonna cycle a card first. You know, maybe he's got something like Blood Mage in his deck.
Yeah, he just wants to make sure he gets all the information before he does this here.
Yep, swipe. First one taken out. Second one's going to be taken out with that Druid of the Claw, and then Hero Power is going to finish this up. And now Kranich, once again on the back foot, has to find a way to get some pressure out. But he knows that Muzzy has got a copy of Ancient of War in his deck.
Yeah,
or in his hand, rather.
In his hand, and he's used up both his saps already this game, if I remember correctly. So
Blade Flurry
this is a
drawn.
rough spot. Well, he could re-up his dagger here and start to get to work with Tinker Sharp Sword Oil, but...
Oh,
what a draw.
That
was great for Kranich as well. He's going to develop this Big Game Hunter. If he gets to keep one of these around.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that Kranich understands the importance of having pressure out against this stack, and that's what he's going to push for. And Muzzy, he's got to get something done in this position. This is looking very dangerous for him. Sylvanas, the fact that he's seen some of those saps, is this going to be enough? I think he has to feel like he's got to taunt up right now.
Yeah, he might use a Savage Roar's removal spell here as well.
That's
yeah, he's
exactly
going to do that.
What he's going to do. Does take 4 damage in the process, though. And this is going to give Kranich an opportunity.
But see, the thing is, you take 4 damage here, but it's worth less damage dead than it is alive. Kranich with Tinker Sharpshot Oils could have some gigantic. Is he dead here? I think he's dead, right?
Yeah, that looks like lethal to me. He's going to dagger up, preparation of Tinker Sharpshot Oil, use another one, swing at the face.
Well, hold on, Kranich.
Kranich might have.
Wait, let's see here. Hold on.
He's obviously spotted some sort of.
Oh yeah. Okay, the Viscerate plus the Blade Fury. Yeah.
Yep.
Is he short? Did Kranich just? Yeah, he's short. Yeah.
Wow. No, that's not short at all. Kranich has got more than.
Oh yeah, no. That's what I'm saying. I thought he was short for that. I forgot he goes up to 9,
his reaction did kind of
yeah.
give the impression maybe that he was a little bit short, but he's got.
For some reason, I thought it was only 3.
Plenty
not
of ways.
6.
Yeah, plenty of ways to kind of make that turn up for you and drop lethal. A couple different sequences to go through. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what sequence you go through as long as you actually kill your opponent. You know, I've seen so many situations where players reanalyze their play, and it's important to do that. But at the end of the day, if you get lethal, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I thought it was only 3 power. I forgot it was 2 Tinker Sharpshot Oils that turn. That's a lot of damage.
It is a ton of it. If you guys want to see exactly how he got to this position, you can recap the game by visiting pvplive.net. Check out the full stats breakdowns, everything they did in this match to get to this point, as well as their full competitive history. See everything they've ever done. Kranich, by the way, top 4 at Worlds. You might want to check that one out as well. So now we're going into game number 5, man. Yeah. This is beautiful. I love seeing the 5-game sets from these players, and both of them desperately need a win. There's a lot of pressure on both of these players to try to get to that winning record spot and see if they can solidify that top 8. When we come back, we're going to be getting into game number 5. They're making changes to their decks right now, but soon we'll see who's going to take down this match. Don't go anywhere, guys. You're watching Hearthstone on PvP Live.